03:47 a.m. Strait of Hormuz. A single A-10 Thunderbolt II cuts through the darkness. Flying low, flying slow, flying alone. Two Iranian F-14 Tomcats just found the easiest kill of their careers. Or so they believed. The Warthog was impossible to miss. It moved at barely 300 knots above the black water. No altitude, no aggression, no escort visible on any Iranian radar screen. A ground attack aircraft, ugly, slow, built to absorb punishment over land battlefields, somehow wandering through one of the most contested maritime choke points on the planet. The AWG-9 radar systems aboard both Tomcats painted it instantly. Clean track, perfect geometry, no electronic jamming, no defensive maneuvering. No sign the American pilot even knew he was being watched. For the Iranian crews, any weapon aboard that aircraft would do the job. Iran received 79 of these fighters before the 1979 revolution ended the relationship with Washington permanently. Decades of sanctions followed. Spare parts dried up, Western maintenance contracts evaporated overnight. And yet, through improvised components, reverse-engineered systems, and a maintenance culture built on pure determination, Iran kept its Tomcats flying. The crews who fly them today are not amateurs. They are the sharpest interceptor pilots in the Iranian Air Force, flying the most capable aircraft their country possesses. And on this particular morning, they were looking at what appeared to be an effortless, low-risk kill. 30 miles, closing fast. 03:54 a.m. The A-10 Thunderbolt II, the Warthog, did not react. No countermeasures, no defensive brake, no climb, no acceleration, no attempt to find terrain masking over the water. It just kept moving, steady and mechanical, like a truck driver who hadn't checked his mirrors. The lead Iranian F-14 pilot's threat scope showed a solid weapons quality lock. His wingman confirmed the track from a slightly different angle, cross-checking the geometry. Everything was textbook. Everything was clean. 25 miles, still nothing from the A-10. The lead F-14 pilot made a decision that felt, in that moment, completely rational. The American pilot either hadn't detected the lock, or had detected it and frozen. Either way, the outcome was the same. He authorized weapons employment and began his targeting sequence. 20 miles, everything was going exactly as planned. And that should have been the warning. In combat, when everything is going exactly as planned, the only question worth asking is, whose plan? 03:56 a.m. The answer was already 40,000 feet above them, and it had been there for 41 minutes. Two Lockheed Martin F-35 Lightning IIs had taken station before the Iranian Tomcats ever received their scramble order. They arrived early, climbed high, went cold on their active emitters, and disappeared, not by leaving the airspace, but by becoming effectively invisible to every radar system the Iranian Air Force operates. The F-35's radar cross-section is roughly equivalent to a metal golf ball. Against legacy Iranian radar infrastructure, that doesn't mean hard to track, it means not there. A ghost, a nothing, clean air on every scope. For 41 minutes, the F-35 crews watched, passive sensors only, drinking in every radar emission, every radio transmission, every navigational transponder squawk from the Iranian side of the equation. They knew the F-14's exact positions. They knew their headings, their altitudes, their closure rates, their weapons configurations estimated from electronic signatures. They had built a complete, real-time tactical picture of the entire engagement, while emitting absolutely nothing that could betray their presence. The A-10 pilot knew they were there. He had known since the mission brief. The slow flight, the low altitude, the complete lack of escort, none of it was accidental. Every detail of that flight profile had been calculated to look exactly one thing to an Iranian interceptor crew scanning for targets: a vulnerable, isolated, easy kill. The bait was in the water. The Tomcats had taken it clean. 03:58 a.m. 18 miles, the lead F-14 released. The AIM-54 Phoenix dropped from its pylon, ignited, and began its run. For approximately 4 seconds, everything in the engagement still looked like an Iranian victory. The missile was tracking true, the A-10 hadn't moved, the geometry was perfect. Then, both F-35s activated their AN/APG-81 AESA radar systems simultaneously. The sound that filled both Iranian cockpits in that instant was the threat warning tone. continuous, urgent, unmistakable. Not one signal, two. From two different bearings, at two different ranges, from two aircraft that did not appear on any radar screen either Tomcat was looking at. Total disorientation, instant. Your missile is already in the air. You have two radar lock warnings from unknown platforms at unknown positions that your sensors cannot find. Your wingman is shouting. Your own radar is sweeping clean air and returning nothing. The tactical picture you spent 40 minutes building, the clean geometry, the easy target, the textbook intercept, is gone, replaced in under 1 second by something far more dangerous than any missile, the certainty that you do not understand what is happening around you. 03:59 a.m. 30 seconds later. The lead F-14 broke hard, left, down, throttles to military power, nose pulling through toward the horizon, the pilot executing a notch maneuver, placing the threat signal at 90 degrees to his flight path, trying to hide in the Doppler blind spot where conventional radar loses track of fast-moving targets against ground glare. It's a sound tactic. Against 1970s radar architecture, it saves lives. The AN/APG-81 is not 1970s radar architecture. Active electronically scanned array technology doesn't work like a conventional mechanically scanned beam. It manages multiple simultaneous beams. It shifts frequency thousands of times per second. It runs electronic attack modes and passive collector and weapons quality tracking in parallel, simultaneously, without degrading any one function to support the others. The Doppler notch that defeated Soviet-era radar systems is, against an ASA, a maneuver that cost energy and altitude and accomplishes nothing else. 03:99 a.m. The lead Tomcat's brake bought it exactly 0 seconds of additional life. The AIM-120 AMRAAM was already off the rail, already running on its own active seeker, already locked onto the F-14's radar return with no further input required from the F-35 that launched it. Active radar homing in terminal phase, autonomous, relentless. The F-35 pilot could have turned for home at that moment. The outcome would not have changed.